Hello and welcome to another whatever I change the name of my videos to, because it's been so long since I made a video. I can't remember what I called them. Whoops. Anyway, today I'll be showing you how to change your outer door handles on your 3rd gen Magna. I have done a rear door handle, so the fronts are a little bit different. There is one extra screw, which I will show. And because the one that I did previously was the front driver's one, they had a lock, and it also didn't have child locks. So this one is a little bit different to the front, but not a whole lot different. It's the same principle, same bolts, all that jazz. The only different thing really with the front lock ones is there's a little circlip you have to change with the lock, but that's not really the end of the world. So without further ado, here we go. This is how to change your door handle. So the first thing to do here is undo the screw that should be in here, inside the door cup, just behind the door handle. If yours is like mine, it won't have one in there. Remove the door cup and just pop it aside, like so. If you're doing the front door handle, you'll want to remove this screw. This isn't on the rear, just the front. The next screw to remove is inside here. I'm fake undoing it because, lo and behold, mine was already undone. At least this one had one in there though. The next thing to do is grab a small flat blade and just unclip the window switch like so. Mine got a little bit stuck, but with a little bit of persistence and tugging they will come out, no worries. Just grab the underside, and there's a little clip on the other side of the loom there that we can't see, but just undo that and she'll slide right out. Now that we've got all the accessories removed, we can remove the actual door card itself. Start from the bottom, just pull all the clips undone. They can be a bit stubborn, so you do have to pull quite hard. Don't worry, it's not going to break. I always am a little bit careful, but they don't snap or anything. Once that's done, just pull from the top and it will come off. If you're doing the front, you'll want to take off this little grommet, only for the front because you can get a ratchet in through there. No good for the rear, obviously, though. As you can see, the child lock is in the way, but there is a 3rd bolt up in that hole that you can get a ratchet through, which makes life a lot easier if you are doing the front. Undo this part, it just pretty much clips off, just so you can see a little easier down there because it is quite hard. Now you'll want to feel under. There is 3 bolts in total under here. They are quite hard to see and quite hard to video, as you can also see. So you can see the 2 on the left here, and there's also one up the far right, which unfortunately it's pretty much impossible to see through a camera lens, let alone through anything else. Grab a spanner for these and undo them. These 2 left-hand side bolts you can use a ratchet and extension bar for. I had to use a ratchet for the one on the far left as it did feel like it was going to snap. Luckily it didn't, but that one was quite easy to get out. Now this one here, we ended up using a bit of CRC on because it was rusted in, and you probably will find that you might have a couple that are rusted in also. They don't generally get changed, so they're usually there for a few years. So a bit of persistence, a bit of elbow grease, and just have to keep trying until it comes out. This pain in the ass bolt is the 3rd and final one, thank God, because it is the worst to get out. Even with someone like me who has very small arms, I still find it a bit of a struggle to get in there. That's why we took the rubber off, so if you do need to see inside there, you can see through the top. The next thing to do, which is incredibly hard to see on camera, take the little metal part out of the little green part. Open the door handle and slide it out like so with some maneuvering. Select which door handle you need to put in. As you can see, this is right hand, and I know it's the rear because it doesn't have a lock like the front. Now open the new door handle and slide it in like so. If you did find you did have some rusted bolts, just soak them in a bit of CRC before putting them back in. Unfortunately, watching me putting bolts back in really isn't all that exciting. It's just the same ones we took out before. Start with the two left ones first, just because the far right one, again, is a real pain to get in, especially if the threads aren't lined up with the holes. Do these up pretty slowly. It can be pretty easy to thread them if you do get them in the wrong spot, so make sure you just do them all up finger tight before you go in with a spanner or a ratchet. Make sure when you are ready to tighten your bolts more than finger tight, you do tighten them in a different order. So don't just tighten one bolt completely, tighten one halfway, tighten the next halfway, and so on and so forth. Then tighten them all completely. Once you've got all the bolts tightened up properly, you can go back in and grab the little green thing and the little rod thing. Please excuse my really great terminology, because I'm obviously so great at that. Grab them and put them back together the same way we took them out before, obviously just going the opposite way. This can take a bit of persistence, as you can see. Again, quite hard to see in there and quite hard to feel in there also. A real pain in the butt, but unfortunately to open the door you do need to have them both attached. Otherwise it's not going to work. So you really do have to just have a bit of patience with that, I'm afraid, and get her in there. I also need to apologise for the banging outside because Load is panel beating. Put the grommet back in the door. Next we need to put the door card back on. I always suck at doing this. I can never do it properly and I can never get it lined up. But the way to do it is to put the top of the door card basically on the top of the door. It sort of slides down, if that makes sense. So before we split it up, this time we slide it down. You can line up the holes by looking through the window switch hole, and you'll line up the holes on the door with the clips on the door card, and basically just bash it in until it all clips in together. Now we can put the window switch back in, just clip it back into the loom like so, pop it back into the door card where it came from. Then we can put the door cup back in, like so, open the door handle and just slide it in, put in the screw that should be in there that mine doesn't have, and also put the screw back into the door cup. And that will hold it all together nicely. Now we can go outside and test our door handle. Huzzah!